What's up, guys? Well, I'm back with the Fatrope. I want to do some more testing on this. I had a lot of comments saying that I didn't rough it up enough. So in the bag, I actually have a chunk that I meticulously took apart. All right, today happens to be a really windy day, which is just something that naturally occurs occasionally. Not the best day to try something like this, but I literally took it apart so that every individual strand was separated. All right, so there's as much surface area as possible. All right, so we're going to try a couple different things. I'm going to try to light this just from the sparks from the Mora Spark, all right, with a regular ferro rod that's in there. I'm also going to try with open flame, and I also have a little dish of water because we were trying it wet. All right, so I'm going to get right into it. If you guys can't hear me, I'm sorry again. It's crazy windy, which is a very, again, realistic scenario where you have a couple little fibers like this and you go to light it and they just blow away. So we're going to see how this works out. I'm not going to light it on that soft wood, but I am still going to cut a new piece on that soft wood, so I'm not obviously cutting on the rock. So let's get into this. All right, so the first thing I want to do is take a little pile of these fibers, all right, and see if I can get that lit up with the spark. All right, so again, same ferro rod as last time, same setup, and we're going to try it with this completely taken apart here, see if that helps anything. Because another concern that some people had is that it might have actually been the wood the last time. Actually, I'm going to move this water so it doesn't spill for now. And they said that maybe that dry wood was what actually caught the spark last time. It might not have even been the fire starter. So this is definitely landing inside this little pile here. And you can see where it's charred. I don't know. Let's see if I can move the camera here. Move it closer to the camera. You can kind of see how it's charred there. So the sparks are landing on there and burning up, but it's not catching on fire. And that's the issue that I had with it, is that it's harder to actually catch. Try throwing it at him again like last time. I can see them kind of landing there, fizzling for a second, and then they're out. It really is very difficult. Let me try real quick with the open flame, because I was talking about that last time. This is just a bit lighter. Got this from my buddy Corey. Throw a little leather wrap on there. So we have an open flame even in winds. It catches fairly easily, like you would imagine. All right. Let's get that dish of water back up here. Well, doesn't look like it's going to blow out easy either, so the wind is not much of a factor. If anything, it's probably helping. So I'm going to let that burn. Actually, we're going to take some more of these fibers and we'll get them wet first. And let's see if that changes anything. Alright, so I have a big old ball of those fibers. I get that completely wet. See, it's literally dripping. I'm going to put out the other fire with it. just squeezing it out. Put that there. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some sparks on it. I know it's not gonna do anything. It's a complete waste of time, but just for the sake of saying that I did, we're gonna try that. So I'm gonna move the water out of the way again. All right, so let's try it with the wet fibers. Can't imagine why this would be better wet. Of course, it's not better wet. So I'm gonna try it with the open flame wet, see if it still works. Try to get an angle you guys can see what's going on here. All right, the end sizzled a little bit and went out. It caught and then went back out. Try to fluff it up a little bit. Maybe get it from the bottom. Well, it's actually lit. Rotate that a little. So it is working wet, which is quite impressive. And it's windy right now, very windy. So I have to say, I mean, it does definitely work wet. It just seems like you really need an open flame to initiate that burn time. Now, to be honest, what I thought was going to happen is I thought because it was already separated and it was all little fibers, getting it wet would make it too wet. Because the idea is that if this whole tube gets wet, it's not a big deal because the inside's still dry. So you cut off a little chunk, fluff it up, and you still have that dry material. But it's actually really interesting to see that even when this thing is totally soaked, separated, it still works very well. So it definitely changes my opinion of it. However, as you saw throughout this demo, it's very hard to actually get it lit from spark alone. And on this windy day, those little fibers can be blowing all over the place. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this water back up here. All right, I'm gonna put the rest of these into the water. All right, push that down, let it soak. I'm gonna leave it in there for a little bit and see if it's gonna make it harder to light with the open flame. Because we've learned a couple things so far. Oh. Don't want that to light everything else on fire. Like I said, very windy today. All right, so that kind of went out on us. Go ahead and move this out of the way. There's still some unburnt parts here. Actually, let's see if I can get this relit. Again, with flame. Actually, you know what, let's try the sparks first. See if that makes much difference. There we go. All right. Well, now, theoretically, the sparks don't really matter because there's actual embers burning on there. So, I'm not 100% sure if that was the embers that started back up or the sparks. But regardless, you can move it around and still have enough burn time to actually get a fire going if you needed to. All right, so this is still soaking over here. Go ahead and put that out. All right. So same deal, I'm just squeezing the water out best I can. All right, we have a wet ball. Move it around a little bit. Try to light it again with open flame. Well, I suppose we'll try the sparks a little bit more here. Maybe eventually you can get it, but if I'm in a real survival situation, I don't want to play with that, right? So you take out your lighter. Might as well pick it up, get the flame underneath first. Should make it easy because it's going to barrier against the wind a little. It's not helpful that my lighter's almost dead because I use this all the time. All right. There we go. Okay, now we have open flame. And it went out. Here comes the wind. Very realistic scenario. Having a hard time, your lighter's running out, right? Good thing I'm not in an actual survival situation. That wouldn't be very good, would it? I'm gonna swap hands. All right. Some of this lit. And there you go. So, what have we learned playing around with this? We learned a couple things. One, for me anyway, and people have said they've had other results with this. So, I mean, you know, it seems a little inconsistent. Some people said this stuff's awesome. I can only go by my experiences, but my experiences so far have taught me that this is horrible to start with a ferrocerium rod alone, any kind of sparking mechanism. But it does actually excel even when wet when using an open flame. So again, my original assessment is I wouldn't pack this for emergency, you know, fire starting material. If your life depended on it, you certainly wouldn't want to be, you know, stuck with it not lighting. But if you're going camping or something and your life does not depend on it, I think it's actually really good, especially when it gets wet. It seems to burn very well. All right, so the moisture doesn't seem to play a big role in it not working or anything. All right. There we have it. Put our knife away. And it went out with this extreme winds. It's actually a good test because I'm going to see if I can, once the wind dies down, see if it blow it back into flame. Now the ember's completely burned out. So let's try it again with the lighter. There's some embers burning. So there it is again. So I mean, if you're going to use this stuff, it seems like your best bet is to really take the extra time to fluff it up and break out all those individual strands. Again, I'll give you a quick demo. All right, so push it out of the tube. Cut yourself a little piece off here. Now, some people were saying that they actually take apart the strands. Like if you wanted to, you could just unravel a big part of this. So you basically have 3 smaller clumps of strands. But anyway, take all these individual little pieces and really just spend the time to unfluff it all. So it's those individual little fibers. That's gonna be your best bet. I mean, once you have an open flame like this, you could probably get away with putting some chunks on there, because that's lighting as well. But to start, you really want to fluff it up. All right, it seems to be the only way you're going to have success there, especially if you're trying to throw sparks at it like I was the first video. So yeah, there you have it. So I mean, again, it works totally fine. Actually does excel when it's wet, but it really has to be cut down and taken apart. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.